Hey everybody, it's James, and this is the CEO Jimbo Show. I have another episode on Malaysia Airlines 370 for you. This is take two. I just kind of uh, started one and it didn't work out too good. Anyway, I cut it off a little early. There was kind of a lot of noise in here from a neighbor, and I just my tablet kind of got off track a little bit, where I was trying to show you my book, and it I don't know what it did. It kind of closed up. It went to my metronome somehow, which I use for music and so on. And my other tablet kind of just went to kind of a drawing that I was working on. And so on. And anyway, so it's kind of funny. I don't know how that. It's like people are messing with me. That I don't have the internet on either one of my tablets, but it's where I can get it. But it seems like maybe other people can get to my tablets and just mess around with my screens. I don't know. Anyway. This is Malaysia Airlines 370, a missing Boeing 777. And it disappeared about 10 years ago on a flight from Malaysia to China. Anyway, I have another report. I put out this episode. These episodes once every 2 weeks is sort of my schedule, and my last one was on section 1, which is witnesses, section 1 of a book that I'm writing. And this one also is on witnesses. I just kind of came to realize that section 1 was kind of lagging behind my other 3 sections of my book. So I decided to spend another 2 weeks on it and so on. So anyway, this is kind of the theme. This is my Samsung tablet here. And I'm kind of got it in read mode, which I'm kind of getting used to here a little bit, because otherwise if I bump it when it's on write mode, I've found that it kind of screws up my document a little bit. And I'm trying, this is sort of the backup copy, and I'm wanting the backup copy not to be all messed up. So anyway, before this is kind of it. We're talking about, I have a map here. I'm doing this a little bit different than my last one here. I kind of read the excerpt first and then I showed the map. But we're talking about a lady named Catherine T. that claims that she saw Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 from a sailboat at night. She thought that the airplane either was on fire or it had these weird bright orange lights on it. And there was like 2 other airplanes with both with kind of nav lights that she could make out. And the Malaysia Airlines Airliner that looked like it was on fire didn't seem to have nav lights. She reported this about 2 months after she and her husband and a crew member arrived in port at Phuket, Thailand. They left on this voyage from Kochi, India, and this is kind of like one of 3. They either kind of like went this way, they went this way, or they went this way. Possibly even since I just kind of like added more to this map here, and so on. And they if they went kind of way down south of the Maldives, I need to like maybe add yet another one down here. But this is maybe about the average here. The excerpt that I'm going to read basically says that that this Miss T decided to kind of report this to the authorities when somebody came to her telling her that her sailboat was right underneath the flight path that they thought that the plane took. They basically said that they think that the plane took off from Malaysia for China. It was supposed to go like way up here, but it only went to like this Igari intersection, turned to about this area, and then it kind of like went north up into this area, and then it turned south and it went way down south, down to just west of Australia, out into the Indian Ocean, and disappeared, probably crashed or landed and sunk in the water way down there, is kind of what they were saying. But somebody came to her saying that they think that the plane did that and that it flew right over the top of her. And with that, she said she'd check her GPS coordinates to see if they matched theirs. And they basically said that their coordinates showed her here. And then she kind of confirmed that her coordinates also said that they showed her here. I mean, it might be here, maybe they were further south. Maybe they didn't even go that far, but whatever the coordinates were, they're basically saying the plane came up here and then just went down south. So it would have been like here, 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 maybe here if there was another one. So here's the excerpt. I think it's 4. T began reviewing her yacht's GPS log after hearing a report saying that a survey ship was going back to port because of technical difficulties. I don't quite follow that completely. Checking her GPS log side by side with data maps on route across Indian Ocean through this forum or whatever, cruise forum, she realized that she had possibly saw the airplane. Pardon grammar. One member of the forum recreated a map using Google Earth and found out that the missing plane would have passed the location of where T's yacht was at the time. This is what convinced me, her, to file a report with the full track data for our voyage to the relevant authorities, T said. Okay, so people came to her and told her, oh, and by the way, this is International Business Times, June 3rd, 2014, and the title is Malaysia MH370 Woman Sailor Finally Speaks Up on Seeing Plane on Fire. Files report with JACC. And then I retrieved this or pulled it off of the internet 18 January 2024 from this, https www.thefreelibrary.com. She said she saw it pretty high up. That's just kind of from my general reading. And this was at night. That's also kind of from my general reading. There was like 2 other planes that were kind of near it, and she thought that, they would kind of call it in or whatever. And so on from general reading and so forth. The key thing here is that the other witnesses, none of the other witnesses had somebody really come to them to encourage them to report it to authorities, however that worked. There was a lady that basically was on a commercial flight that she went to authorities. She was a bit fearful that she would get ridiculed, but she went to the authorities anyway and found that the authorities just sort of rejected her story and said nonsense kind of thing. So anyway, there seems to be maybe a discrepancy or sort of a difference in, there's a lot of different witnesses. There's like the first witness was here, a tuna fishing boat with two people on board the boat that said that they saw the plane kind of low in this area, and they went to authorities, and I think the authorities sort of rejected that as not being plausible or something like that. There's this oil platform worker that basically stated that he saw it way out west of where he was and on fire rising and then descending or something like that. And then the fire went out as it got lower or something like that. So it was like, this was at night, like second. And then the third one would have been this Catherine T., who saw it at night on fire and kind of with the other, like two other planes that were like above it even, but it was still pretty high up and so forth. And then there's witnesses that basically said that they saw it down low, kind of circling around the Maldives, and so on. I think they kind of went to authorities, and the authorities basically rejected that as nonsense, and so forth. And then there's a little, this was like at sunrise, from night to sunrise time, like 6 o'clock in the morning. One group saw it 7 o'clock in the morning, another group saw it. And then there were fishermen like roughly in this area. This is the Strait of Malacca, and we're kind of in this area roughly, and said that they saw it down low on the water. There were two different fishing boats from what I understand. One of them kind of reported it 5 years later, kind of for fear that they would get in trouble. But I think that they just ended up going to the authorities, just finally saying that they were going to tell their story. What might be the difference there is I think there was a change in the Malaysia government, and they may have decided that they trusted the new government more than the old government or something like that. There were two different boats. One of them kind of claimed that they had sort of like a GPS of the area. The other one, I think it was just sight. One of them reported that they thought that the plane looked like a broken kite, like crashing down on the water or something like that. And then kind of the final witness was this lady that saw it from a commercial airline flight that took off from Saudi Arabia. My last one, I was saying that she took off from India, but she actually, their flight took off from, I think it was Saudi Arabia, which is on the west coast of Saudi Arabia, and then came across the southern tip of India, across Chennai, and she said like an hour out of Chennai and past some islands, she saw what she thought was the plane on the water, the wings and the tail on the water. That would have been later, like more like I think I've read like 11 a.m. or something like that, and so on. So, and she went to the authorities, and then the authorities sort of rejected her story. This lady didn't go to the authorities until somebody came to her saying that her coordinates might match up with theirs, and after she confirmed that the matchup occurred, then she went to the authorities. It's almost like the authorities wanted hers because hers kind of like give merit to their argument that the plane went way down south. Again, maybe I didn't do it on this video, but basically they're saying that the plane took off from here, kind of went over to here, then way up north here, then turned and then made this long final cruise down to deep into the South Indian Ocean to crash there and so on. And they're maybe wanted her to come forth telling her that she saw it because it's right on their course line that they're trying to convince the world that the plane took. So anyway, that's what I have. That's that's what I'm going to give you this time, I guess. I'm writing a book on this, if I didn't mention that. I think I did. It has 4 sections, and this is the second time in a row that I've done the witnesses. I was rotating things, but section 1 was kind of far behind, and so I spent 2 more weeks working on section 1. I may do that again. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to work on tomorrow. It's either going to be probably another run on section 1, or it's going to be probably section 2 if it's not section 1. But I'm definitely going to kind of spend 2 weeks and then come back with a report on what I came up with 2 weeks from now, so on. So be well. Thanks for watching. Hope you like this. Please comment and subscribe and all that. Have a good one. So on.